समन्ता चक्रवालेषु अत्रा गच्छन्तु देवता सद्धम्मं मुनिराजस्य सुनन्तु सग्गमोक्खदम् ධම්මස්සවන කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා ධම්මස්සවන කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා ධම්මස්සවන කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා නමෝ තංස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දන්ස නමෝ තංස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දන්ස නමෝ තංස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දන්ස සම්මා දිට්ඨිං පහං භික්ඛවේ ද්වයං වදාමි අත්ථි භික්ඛවේ සම්මා දිට්ඨි සාසවා පුඤ්ඤ භාගියා උපදිවේ පක්ඛා අන්ති භික්ඛවේ සම්මා දිට්ඨි අරියා අනාසවා ලෝකුත්තරා මග්ගංගාති. Okay, all of you are warmly welcome. Today is the Tuesday. We usually start our Dhamma class. Here I would like to explain you very special topic in Buddhism, that is Samma Ditti or right understanding. Right view or right understanding. That is a very special topic in Buddhism. The reason is that here we are going to discuss the very special topic, that the Eightfold Path. We have already discussed about the Eightfold Path. Here I hope to describe that topic again, because this is the major topic in Buddhism, that we can conclude all doctrines that Buddha says in this only the Eightfold Path. Buddha explained his teachings during 45 years. As a Buddha, he spent his life 45 years. He attained enlightenment at the age of 35. After that, he spent as a Buddha 45 years. At the age of 80, he passed away. In his Buddha life, about 45 years, if he explained some doctrines as his teachings, those all teachings can be included into this topic, Samma Ditti or right understanding or Eightfold Path. That is why we have to listen to this message again and again. We should clear our knowledge again and again about this topic. That is very important. As the result of practicing this path, we can live without fear and suffering. That is the final goal. That is the final goal of Buddha's teaching. Then we have given a topic as the life without fear and suffering. That is our main purpose of our life. How do we live without fear and suffering? For that, Buddha explained us the two ways. One of them is the way to go to the heaven and come back to the human world. That is the first step of right understanding. Last week we discussed about that, the Sagga Magga. I think you can remember last week we discussed about Sagga Magga and Mokkha Magga. Sagga means the heaven, the way to go to the heaven. Mokkha Magga means liberation, cessation from all kinds of suffering. Mokkha Magga, Mokkha means liberation, getting rid of suffering. These are the ways that Buddha explained to the world. First of all, he wanted to explain to the world as first level, as first step, the Sagga Magga, or the path which leads to go to the heaven. And also he explained these doctrines which cause us to come back to the human world. That is the major necessity in our lives. Buddha understood the major challenges that a person has. You know, what are the big challenges in front of our life? Yeah, one of them is death. Good. Very good. Old age. Old age, jara. It means in Pali language, jara. Old age. And sickness or illness, vyadi. And marana, death. And separation, all kind of interests that we like. Separation from our wealth, separation from our children, separation from our close relatives, separation even from our own body. These are the challenges. Another thing that Buddha explained, there is another big challenge, the biggest challenge. What is the biggest challenge? Yeah, those are the causes of suffering. I ask you, I mean that the big challenge, the biggest challenge. Yeah, rebirth. Rebirth. Rebirth is the more important than death. Rebirth is the more important, a big challenge, bigger challenge than death. We mostly think that the death is the biggest challenge, but Buddhism doesn't say that the death is not the biggest challenge. If our death is the end of our life, whole life, it may be the biggest challenge, but the death is not our last end of our life. If we have desire, if we have anger, if we have delusion or ignorance, we are coming back to the world. That is why Buddha says the rebirth is the biggest challenge in our lives. Here Buddha says there are special 5 challenges. If you think these challenges again and again, we try to develop our qualities every moment. We try to understand, we try to learn how we face when problems come to us without fear, without suffering. What are those big challenges in our life? First one is old age. When we go to the old age, we have become to the illness. Illness also one of the challenges in our life. And death. And separation. And rebirth. Those are the big challenges in our life. Although we have these big challenges, Buddha doesn't say how do we succeed our future. Always Buddhism says how do we succeed in this moment. If we can succeed in this present moment, our whole life is successful. Some people think that Buddha explained his teachings in order to get a good life. It is also one of his ambitions, but the main purpose of Buddhism is that how do we succeed in this moment? If we can succeed in this moment with a pure mind, then our whole life is succeed. Our whole life is successful. Then here, the first step of right understanding or right view or sammaditthi, first of all I recited the stanza Pali words. Now I am going to explain sammaditthi. Sammaditthi means, samma means correct or right. Right, this is the Buddha's language, Pali. Right means correct. And ditti means vision, view or understanding. Right understanding. What do we do in the name of right understanding? What are the reasons, what are the things that we should do in the name of right understanding for sammaditthi? Yes. Follow 5 precepts. Before follow 5 precepts, at the very beginning we should have knowledge. Knowledge is very important. Knowledge and wise investigating, wise reflection. We should have not only knowledge. There are many people in the society, they have a lot of knowledge about the Buddhism and any other thing. But they mostly don't practice it. That is why first thing is the knowledge is very important, and according to knowledge, we have to reflect on it again and again. That is very important. Although we have enough knowledge, if we don't reflect on it, our knowledge is useless. Without knowledge, we have nothing to reflect. That is why both of them are very, very important. If we are going to reflect on something, first of all, we should have good knowledge. For example, if you want to go to LA, first of all, you should know what is the way, what is the map, what is the road that you have to use. And also, although you have the map, if you don't go on the way, you can't reach the place. You can't reach to the destination. Therefore, both of them are very, very important. First thing is the knowledge. Second one is reflecting or reflection. Then for that, again and again, we have to listen to this message. And sometimes, not only sometimes, we mostly describe the same topics again and again in the name of your understanding. Then, when we repeat those topics again and again, your knowledge is clear. Your knowledge is going to be clear. That is why we explain some same topics again and again. Then, the right understanding can be divided into two. What are the two things that it is divided, the right understanding or sammaditthi? Yes?
Wisdom?
No, wisdom is the highest goal, or from beginning to end we want to practice wisdom. But I mean here, when we describe right understanding, we can divide into two ways the right understanding.
Understanding karmic law.
Yeah, very good, very good. Understanding of karmic law. That is the very, very first level. As soon as you listening to the Buddha's message, you have some sort of knowledge about the karmic law. What is the meaning of karmic law? That when we do something with wicked mind, we will verbally, mentally or physically, we will have the bad results because of polluted mind. If we do something with wicked mind, we will have the bad results. We do our activities using three things, that mind, speech and behavior. Through these three things, we do some activities. And also, if we do some activity that as wholesome, if we do some good deeds with pure mind, we will have the good results because of pure mind. This is the thing that we have to understand according to right understanding. That is why there is a very special stanza in Buddhism, Sabba Papa Sakaranam, Kusalasa Upasambada. Sabba Papa Sakaranam means not to do any evil. Why we should not do evil?
Because evil will come back.
Yeah, but the reason is that the same results will come to us. If we do bad deeds, we will have the bad results, not only hereafter, but in this life itself. That is why we have to overcome evil. Secondly, Buddha says, Kusala Sukha Sambada. Try to do good. Try to do good deeds with pure mind. As the result of doing good deeds, you will have the good results. What are the things that we do as good deeds? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we can practice generosity, we can practice virtue or morality, we can practice meditation. What are the evils? What are the main evils in our life? Lobha or greed, or desire or greed, lobha, and dvesha, hatred or anger, moha, delusion or ignorance. When we are greedy, if we have a big greed, then our mind is not pleasant or calm or quiet or pure. We always try to get something if we are greedy. Sometimes we have greed not only the material things, sometimes about our name, about our proud, we have some sort of greed. We should be very careful. Some defilements come to us seriously, unknowing. We should be very sensitive when defilements come to our mind. There are some people who are very generous, but their selfish is very high. Always they think their name, they are proud, they think when somebody blame him, he is very upset. The reason is his big ego. Then, if we can understand our defilements, if we have good attention, awareness, we can overcome these defilements or cravings. Then these are the main evils or defilements in our life: greed, anger, and delusion. Greed, anger, and delusion. And what are the opposite things of these three things? Generosity, practicing generosity, and practicing loving kindness, and practicing the knowledge of impermanence. When you have greed, if you are ready to offer something to others in the name of other success, then you can reduce your greed. And when you practice loving kind meditation, you can decrease anger or hatred. When you meditate on impermanence, if you can see the impermanence as arising and ceasing, then your ignorance decreases. These are the things that we should do against those evils. Then, when we can overcome evils in our life, we overcome not only evils, but we overcome the suffering. And also, if we can develop good deeds in our life, as practicing generosity, practicing loving kindness, practicing morality or virtue, and practicing impermanence, doing meditation, then our mind is very strong, very calm, quiet, pure. Always our mind is very pleasant if we can keep our mind with these good activities, wholesome things. The result is, Buddha says very clearly, if you practice these teachings, if you can practice these teachings, the result is not only hereafter, the result is visible. If you practice this understanding, if we practice these teachings, we can see the result visibly. That is the very important thing. We mostly see that the many religions explain their doctrines in the name of the success of next birth. But here Buddha says, if you start to practice these things, you can see the result immediately. You can see the visible results. That is a very, very important thing. For example, if you can start to practice loving kind meditation, you can decrease 50% problems in your day-to-day life. Gradually, if we can develop loving kind meditation, what is the highest results of practicing loving kind meditation? Yeah, happiness, and also we can live with the people without troubles, without quarreling, without anger. As soon as we look at a person, if we have attention that my own brother, own sister, own mom, own son or daughter, if we have this attitude, if we can change our attitude into correct way, then we have no problem. We mostly suffer in our life because of anger. If you can reduce our anger, we can reduce 50% stress in our life. We mostly suffer with the mistakes of others. When somebody does something as bad things, we are upset, we worry. Our mind is with anger. That is why we have to give up this anger in the name of happiness. The result is here, not only hereafter. If we can see other persons who are around us as our close relatives, then many problems are solved automatically. Then Buddha says very clearly, here we practice 3 meritorious deeds. as the result of the knowledge of right understanding, we practice 3 meritorious deeds. What they are? Generosity, dana, morality or virtue, sila, meditation, bhavana. These are the main 3 main meritorious deeds that Buddha explained. In our day-to-day life, if we try to develop these merits, it causes to our inner happiness. What is the most valuable merit among these 3 things? Meditation is the first valuable, important merit that we can develop our personality, which causes to develop our concentration, which develop our wholesome things in our life. When we practice generosity, we practice it very few minutes. When we practice some sort of discipline or morality or virtue, our duration is longer. And when we meditate again and again, our duration is very large. And also we do it consciously with awareness and mindfulness. Then nobody can hate our peace. Nobody can disturb our peace. Nobody can disturb our concentration. If somebody can disturb our inner peace, what is the meaning? We are weak.
We are weak, yes.
Yeah, we are weak. We have no good attention. We have no good mindfulness. Then we have to understand our weaknesses. Then again and again we try to practice these valuable things in our life. And I have explained all things that I said here in this paper. And if you can read this paper, you can learn more things. And the first step is the karmic law. When you practice, when you develop your mindfulness, or when you develop your right understanding, the first step is your knowledge of karmic law increases, develops. Karmic law. First I explained that 2 things that we should develop in the name of right understanding. What they are?
Knowledge and wise reflection.
Yeah, very good. Knowledge and wise reflection. For the knowledge, what should we do? Listening to this message, or read, or listening to something again and again, the Buddha's real message. But we should be very careful here. In the name of Buddha's message, there are many things in the society in the name of Buddhism. We should be intelligent to identify what is the Buddha's real message is. What Buddha's real message is. We should be intelligent. Why should we be intelligent? Our time is very valuable. We have very few times in our life. We should expend our time in the very valuable things, for the very valuable things. We should be very careful. We should be intelligent to understand Buddha's real message, to understand what is the spirit, what is the sense of Buddhism. In this class, again and again, we discuss the essence of Buddhism. The essence of Buddhism. In the name of Buddhism, you can learn a lot of things when you go to the internet. There are many websites in the name of Buddhism. you can learn a lot of things. But here, always we try to understand the Buddha's message, the essence of Buddha's message. Please ask.
I was just going to say, is it to end samsara?
Yeah, that is our final goal. For that, the first thing is we should focus our mind in the present situation, present moment. The main thing is, if we wish to get rid of samsaric journey, the main thing is we have to understand the impermanence. Our dependence, our liberation from samsaric journey depends on how much we have understood impermanence or anicca. That Buddhism says. On the other hand, again and again when we listen to this message, and also again and again when we practice this message, our fear and suffering gradually decrease, reduce, overcome. Then we can see the result. When we practice this message, at least if you can practice loving kind meditation 10 minutes per day, continuously, not only once a week or twice a month, every day, if you can practice loving kind meditation at least 10 or 15 minutes continuously, every day, then you can see some sort of results in your life. And also, we should be clever to increase this time. We start 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Again, and when we practice this message, we should be clever to develop this time. That is very important. Then here we described that in the name of right understanding, we have to listen to this message, and also we have to reflect on according to that message. And when we develop our right understanding or right view or correct vision, on the one hand, our knowledge of karmic law increases, develops. Then we don't like to get suffering. We don't want to suffer. That is why little by little we are going away from evils. If we have a lot of mistakes in our life as evils, it means we have a lot of troubles in this life. We have a lot of problems. We don't like for the problems. That is why we are ready to get rid of evil, overcome the evil. And also we should not only do in getting rid of evils, but as a person who wishes to get the more happiness, that we have to develop good deeds in our life. As practicing generosity, practicing morality, practicing meditation. These are the three meritorious deeds. There are many advantages of practicing these meritorious deeds. What are the benefits that we have when we practice these meritorious deeds?
We instantly feel connected to someone else, or
Yeah.
I don't know, karuna, is that the word?
Yeah, karuna, maitri, yeah. Actually, when we do a lot of meritorious deeds in our life, the main thing is that we can get sometimes some negative karmics come to our life as the result of our previous activities. Then we can control those results.
We pay our karmic debt.
Yeah, when our present karmic is very strong, then we can control the negative results of previous activities. For example, you know, in the daytime, there are a lot of stars in the sky, but we can't see. What is the reason? The sun is in the sky. But at night, we can see a lot of stars in the sky. What is the reason? The moon is lower than sun. Our life is like that. Now our life is like the daytime. We have the sun. Sun means we have powerful previous good karmic energy. Then negative karmic have no chance to come to us. We are very strong because of the sun or our previous good result. If we are going down with the good energy, then we are like at night. The stars come to the sky. Then our some sort of negative karmic wish that we did in the previous life come to our life. That is why Buddha says every time, every day, every moment we try to develop good energy in our life. We try to develop our spirituality, practicing these three meritorious deeds. That is one of the results when we practice these meritorious deeds. On the other hand, when we do some meritorious deeds, our some qualities such as our longevity, our good appearance, our health gradually increases as a result of our good meritorious deeds. On the other hand, when we are with the good meritorious deeds, there are some other people who develop these same good qualities. They come to us, they reach to us. And also, if we have some bad people as our friends or some close persons, they may gradually go away. Yeah. They can't live with us furthermore.
Can you repeat that? Can you, I'm sorry. Can you back up? I was reading and I missed what you said before that. Before the friends and they go away?
Yeah, it means not only actually they don't angry with us. When always we are good activities, sometimes they have to change their character. Sometimes they may change their character like us. If they can't change their character, they can't live with us further. That is the reason. The first thing is we should be clever to keep them with us. We can advise them. We can be a good example to them too. Then if they are good persons, although they have mistakes, they are ready to change their mistakes. And they are ready to correct their bad activities. If they can do it, they have to go away. Yes, now you can. I think your question was solved automatically. Yeah. Then that is the reason. On the other hand, there are many people who practice these qualities in this world, not only in a particular place or country. Now the technology is very high. They can understand, they can communicate with the people in the world. As a result of new technology, they can catch these people who practice these good qualities. They reach to each other as the result of practicing good deeds in our lives. On the other hand, if we do some activities in our day-to-day life as education, as doing some jobs, then our all activities in our day-to-day life, they also will be succeeded as the result of practicing these good deeds in our life. That is why Buddha says very clearly, Maha Punya Sabhai. Don't afraid of doing meritorious deeds. Don't fear. Don't afraid of doing meritorious deeds. Every moment you declare your time in the name of doing meritorious deeds. Not only offering something to others, but if you can practice loving time meditation again and again, that is a very valuable meritorious deed in your life. Then your mind is very pure, calm and quiet. These are the results when we practice good meritorious deeds or wholesome deeds. There is another thing. Second step. If we have karmic knowledge, if you have faith in karma, then we try to develop good deeds and we try to reduce bad deeds in our life. On the other hand, what is the second level of right understanding? Yeah, very good. Understanding of dependent origination or understanding of impermanence. Very good. That is the second step. And here we should know very special thing. Until this level, we can see some similarities in the world. Among religions, among philosophers, among teachings, we can see some similarities in the world. Until this level. But when we come to this level, this is the identity of Buddhism. No, it is nowhere. This impermanence that Buddha says is nowhere. Why is it? In the name of impermanence in the world, most people explain the changing. Yeah. They don't know the real impermanence. They think that impermanence and changing are same. But you are so lucky. You can understand what is the real meaning of impermanence in Buddhism. If you don't listen to this message, you can never listen the real meaning of impermanence that Buddha explains. Now, if we ask the question, what is the impermanence? People mostly say that changing. Yeah, we are going to old age, we are going to sickness, we are going to die, and this building is going to destroy. Yeah, they explain those things. But Buddha says very clearly, if a person can understand impermanence, that person can understand the unsatisfactoriness too, suffering too. And also that person can understand the egolessness too, no soul too. But if you understand changing, the changing is not suffering, is always. For example, when a baby is very small, then gradually that baby can walk. Then it is also changing. But it is not suffering. Yeah. It is happier. When you are sick, if you get some medicine, you will be okay. It is also changing. But it is not suffering. It is change in the good way. Changing is not suffering always, not at all. But impermanence is always suffering. That is the difference of changing and impermanence. What is the impermanence? Impermanence means we get some sort of experience about the world through our senses, through our eyes, through our ears, through our nose, like that. When we get some sort of experience about the world through these senses, this experience arises at the moment as the result of these conditions. When conditions are together, at the moment, we can get some sort of experience about the world through our senses. That experience arises at the moment, like this. Again, I can do same thing. When the conditions are same, the experience also same. But when conditions changes, then another pattern. Now, when we analyze, when we reflect on this situation, when the conditions are together, we have some sort of experience through our ear. If a person say, if I ask you, is there the sound? Is there a sound? Yes or no?
Yes.
If you say yes, where is it?
Where is it born?
If you say, is it? This sound. Why is it not? If you say yes, it is extreme. If you say no, it is also extreme. Buddhism doesn't say whether yes or no.
That's why we didn't ask you.
Yes, I know you are very clever. I know you are very intelligent. Then Buddhism says when conditions are together, we can see. When conditions overcome, when conditions vanish, it is not further here. Then according to condition, we can see when conditions are together, we have experience. When conditions are away from here, then that also ceases.
So in the moment when you asked, is there a sound? And she says yes.
Yes.
The correct answer is it's already gone, right?
Yeah.
So it's not there anymore. Is that
Yeah.
the idea?
Yeah, it is not anymore. But we don't say it is not. If you say that it is not here, we can do it again. That is why Buddhism says, according to conventional truth, we can say yes or no. But according to ultimate truth, we don't say yes or no. We are away from both extremes. We say yes when conditions are here, no when conditions vanish, when conditions away from. That is why Buddha says, when we look at a person, he has some sort of experience about his previous days or previous period. That is why we don't say that person is another person. That person is not another person. And also we don't say that this person is the same person. If we say that the same person, he should have all things in the same way. But every moment our physical body is changing, our mind is changing. Our life is the result of matter and body, matter and mind.
We're never the same.
Yeah. When both of them are together, we say there is a person. When one thing is go away, we can say further there is a person. When mind is with the body, we say Mr. Rohana. Then mind goes away, we say the dead body. Yeah. Here, when both of them are together, we can see a person, but both of them always changing. Understanding of changing of body is easier. Understanding of changing of mind also easier. It is also easier. What is the different thing? What is the different thing? Different thing is when we look at a person, this experience arises at the moment. And also, next experience is a very new experience. That is the difficult thing to understand. The people who are in the world, they have understood dividing atom. They have understood the material things very well. The changing of the materials. They have understood. And also psychologists have discovered the changing of mind. It is also easier. But what is the difficult thing? Difficult thing that we have to understand our experience. Our experience arises every moment as new thing. Again and again with the conditions. Nothing come to here from previous experience. Nothing goes to the future from the present. Every moment it arises, every moment it ceases. But we have some sort of memory. We have some sort of memory. Because of memory, we think that the same stream, same thing. For example, when you are going to look at the LA river, if it is water there, you think now the river is here. Again, if you go there, if water is there, you may think the same river. But it is the same river. Suddenly the water goes away. Every moment it goes away. Our life also like that. We say that according to conventional truth, we say that the same person. But our life also like that river. Every moment it changes, it go away, go down. Yeah. If we have this understanding, we have no big attachment. We fulfill our duties in the name of our husband, wife, children, our parents. We do our responsibility very well than we did before. But we gradually decrease our big attachment. If we see this if we reflect on this reality, we have nothing to attach. If it is changed every moment, if our experience every moment it arises, if we have nothing to attach, then we have nothing to attach. We have nothing to do anger. Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm just curious. If, for example, you said we go to the river, let's just say we take water from the river, and we bring it home, and we say, oh, this is the water from the LA River, or something.
Yeah.
It's no longer, or it is and it isn't part of the river, right? It's like yes or no, kind of the same.
Yeah. If we get some water from the river, it is the same water. But the thing is, although water is same, our experience is not same. That is the very important thing. We get that experience, the river, actually it is a very surface level example. But we can get the physical material things as this experience, as this example. The experience is it relates to our mind. For example, when you get some water before, you have same water. When you brought that water, you are happy. After a few days, you are not happy. The water is same.
But it's no longer the river.
Yeah. Whether water is same or not, your experience changes. For example, when you met a person, you were so happy, but maybe the same person, but after a few days, you experience difference. When again and again you associate that person, when you associate with that thing, then our experience changes.
So that's impermanence. That's the
That is the impermanence. That is why I explained you, understanding of the changing of the material thing is easier. Understanding of impermanence is difficult. Understanding of impermanence related to our mind, not only the physical things. We get some example with the physical things, but the real example is with our mind, with our experience. Although we have the same sin, actually this also changes every moment. But although we say this is not, this is certain, but our experience every moment changes.
So our attachment to what this thing is, labeling, eventually, if we fully understand impermanence.
If we have fully understanding about the impermanence, we know the reality. We don't have the big attachment. We know if we have big attachment, when it changes, when my mind changes, I suffer. If we have this knowledge, I don't like to suffer further. I don't like to suffer more. That is why if we have this knowledge, I don't like to big attachment. I try to away from the big attachment or desire. I know very well if we have big attachment, when it changes, I will be suffer. And not only it is changing, but when my attention, when my experience changes, when my mind changes, then I suffer with this experience. If I have this knowledge, if we have this knowledge, we try to gradually, our big attachment or desire decreases.
Now, what about the attachment to the knowledge of knowing? Like if you say, oh, I think I got it. You lose it,
we associate with them. But the thing is, we reduce our attachment. We use these things. We associate our friends, our relatives, our children. We don't go away from our children. We fulfill our duties, but we know very well this experience every moment changes. Then when it changes, other persons cry. Other persons may cry. And they have limitations. Pain. But we know very well, before we become that position, we have understood this reality. That is why we don't suffer. We don't have fear, we don't have pain. The reason is, first of all, we have understood this situation, we are ready to face this change. We are ready to face this impermanence without suffering.
So that makes sense because with my patient who passed away, I'm not suffering because I understand impermanence. Not completely, but as far as that's concerned, I have a better understanding of impermanence. In other words, she's here, she's sick, but she's here, and now she's in her next life. So I accept that. So I don't have fear, I don't suffer that she's physically not here. Am I on the right page?
Now I think you have the understanding of changing.
Okay, so it's physical.
Physical changing. You know that person, that the nature of our life is changing, going to, our body is subject to die, our body is subject to going to old age, going to sickness. Actually, this is the understanding of changing. Because of changing, if a person can understand changing, that person also can remove their suffering. But understanding of impermanence is different.
Okay.
For example, you may have to associate that person again.
Yes.
That person maybe meet you again.
In another life.
But if you have this real knowledge about impermanence, you may have not big attachment.
Right.
You know very well, now I have this person, as this person I have the experience through my senses. It is impermanent. Then although you meet that person, you may not have big attachment, but you are happy.
Yes.
But you are happy with this understanding.
Right.
Then that person again go away. You don't worry if you have the understanding of impermanence.
Correct.
But if you have only understanding of changing, when that person is come back, you are happy. When that person goes away, you are worried. You worry.
So I understand exactly what you're saying. I just am not able to articulate it. Let me put it this way. My sister-in-law and my patient, same disease. Sister-in-law, I had big attachment. I was having trouble letting her go.
Yeah.
When she went, I was sad. I cried and everything.
Because of big attachment.
Because of big attachment. My patient, I watched her go down the same path, but the big attachment wasn't there because I knew what was coming.
Yeah.
And I used the knowledge of impermanence to deal with it this time. So because of my knowledge of impermanence, I'm not 100%, but because of the teachings, I'm able to not have that big attachment, so the pain is not as great.
Yeah.
The human part of me, of course, I miss her, but I understand about attachment, so I let go of that attachment of her. Am I right?
Yeah, mostly you are correct. Another way that we think that I have understood impermanence, but here we have the knowledge of changing. Actually, still we have the understanding of changing. For example, when we know people are going old age, when your parents are going old age, then you see the changing. That is the nature of the world. If a person can understand the nature of the world, that person also can remove their suffering. But that understanding of not certain, it is impermanent. That again the suffering may come back. Come back.
As time
For example,
remember, and then
for example, when that your patient he may be reborn near your house, then you may have some sort of combination with that person. Again, that person is going to old age or going to become the sickness. You may be suffering. But if you have the real knowledge in impermanence, you don't suffer. That is the difference, the understanding of changing and understanding of impermanence. The people in the world, when their close relatives passes away, then they cry several days. After that, they are okay. They don't suffer after a few days. But they don't have the understanding of impermanence. Although they don't have the understanding of impermanence, after a few days their suffering overcomes. But again, some reason comes, that person suffers. But understanding of impermanence is permanent.
Never comes.
That is the difference of understanding of changing and understanding of impermanence. That is the great benefit of our life. Buddha, yes?
Sorry.
Okay.
If you fully realize it or fully understand it, is it like a wowie thing where you're just like, I get it, like eureka,
Actually for this knowledge, we are discussing in the very surface level, only the knowledge. According to this knowledge, we have to reflect on it again and again. This is only the first level, first thing among the Eightfold Path. According to this knowledge, we have to practice another 7 steps for the certain understanding. We have to develop this knowledge continuously. Now we think Few times we forget it, we go to another thing, again and again our mind is go here and there. As the practicing of these eightfold paths, gradually our knowledge is going to permanent, continuously. Then, without any space, every moment we are the fully mindful. Yeah. Then every moment we live with awareness of mindfulness. Then suffering has no chance to come to us. That is why we have to practice this eightfold path. According to right understanding, we change our thoughts, our attitude. Then according to our attitude, we change our speech. Every moment we talk with this understanding, with attention, with mindfulness. And also not only speech, but when we do some activities behaviorally, we are very careful for our activities when we use our physical body. Not only action, but also if we have some sort of jobs in the name of our life, if we do some jobs, because of our understanding, we choose the correct job, even though the payment is very low. We choose the correct job because of right understanding. Not only concerning the payment, but our courage, our effort, always in the good way. Our effort changes to correct way, that always we always try to go away from the negative activities, and also on the other hand we try to develop the good activities. That is our good effort, correct effort, right effort. Not only effort, but also mindfulness about our body, about our mind. We have fully attention. Again and again we have to develop it, not only enough the knowledge. If you have knowledge, now when you are in the classroom, you are like fully enlightened. But you go away, you are the ordinary person.
Let's stay in class for 2 months.
Yeah, this is also good. Yeah, whether when we compare other people, you are also better. But no, you are not the best. We should become the best.
Yes, that's right.
For that we have to practice, we have to follow another 7 steps. Especially, the special thing is the mindfulness. Our success in the spiritual life depends on how much we practice mindfulness in our day-to-day life.
Would you mind describing the mindfulness practice and what it's like, or how you when you should know if you're attaining mindfulness in the moment? Or?
Yeah, actually mindfulness is a very big topic in Buddhism. Yeah, mindfulness about our physical body, it is divided into several parts of our body, every part, and also our breathing, our posture, sitting, standing, walking, lying down, every posture, and also our body after death, what happens to our body, we consider about our whole body, every part, every situation. We develop mindfulness again and again. Not only physical body, but also our feelings. Good feelings, bad feelings, happyful feelings. All feelings we concentrate on. We develop mindfulness. Not only feelings, but also our mental formations too. And also our consciousness, our minds too. This is our whole experience in our life. From when we wake up in the morning and go to the bed, every our activities, every experience, every moment, if we think something, if we do something, if we have some feelings, about all of these experiences we develop our mindfulness. Not only look at something, when some things come to our mind, when we have some feelings, we concentrate on all of them, every moment, without any space. That is why Buddha says, this is the field of the Father. Practice in mindfulness is the field of the Father. Who is the Father? Father is the Buddha. If you are in this field, you have never suffering. If you go away from the field, you suffer. You face the problem. Until you are in this field, you can be happy. You have no fear and suffering. If you go away from this field, which is the field? Field is the mindfulness. Mindfulness means fourfold mindfulness. Fourfold mindfulness. Contemplation of body, contemplation of feelings, contemplation of mental formations, contemplation of consciousness. Mindfulness is divided into four. Contemplation of body, contemplation of feelings, contemplation of mental formations, contemplation of consciousness or mind. These are our all experience in our life. Then if we have this fully mindfulness, we have no space to go away. Every moment, every experience with this mindfulness. We have to learn a lot of things about mindfulness. Now we know only few things. When we describe the very special discourse, the great discourse of mindfulness. One day we described, you are given a handout too. Very short handout, but we have to describe a lot. Then actually when we start to practice this mindfulness, we are like on 1st of January. Well, everything that we like around us. That is very, very important. We are full with happiness. And we have no any negative ideas in our mind. We have fully attention, fully awareness. Then we know not only mindfulness, with the mindfulness we should have wisdom or the knowledge of impermanence, arising and ceasing. We know the arising, ceasing. We got an example that mindfulness is like catching the some tree or something. The wisdom or impermanence, understanding of impermanence is like the other hand with the knife that cut that tree. Mindfulness and cutting the impermanence. Then we cut the defilement. We catch our whole experience, mind and matter, as mindfulness. Then understanding of impermanence with another hand, with a knife, we cut our defilement, which come to our mind as negative thought, as desire, as anger, as delusion. Then again and again we can develop this knowledge. We can practice this. We have to practice the three things. The first one is knowledge. Second one is reflecting. Third one is meditation. Meditation can be divided into two: tranquility meditation or concentration meditation and insight meditation. Samatha bhavana, vipassana bhavana. We mostly study about samatha or tranquility meditation. How do we focus on our mind in a particular object of thought? But it is only primary meditation. With the concentrated mind, we have to reach to the insight meditation too. for the understanding of impermanence. Insight meditation means we see the reality as impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and egolessness. With the concentrated mind, we reflect on impermanence, suffering or unsatisfactoriness, and egolessness, no soul. When we reflect on this knowledge again and again, this knowledge is going to be certain. Then, if we can keep this mindfulness continuously, then nobody can hate us. Nobody can disturb peace of our mind. If somebody can disturb our peace of mind, it means we have no mindfulness. Then, if you have full attention with the mindfulness, nobody can hate you, nobody can disturb you, nobody can gain you the suffering. Then, this is the path that we can the visible result. We can get the visible result. That is very important. Finally, our real happiness, our inner happiness gradually increases. That is our final goal. Liberation means the result of liberation is happiness. Then how much that we develop this message, we can go away from suffering. That is why again and again we try to listening to this message again and again. And not only listening, but we try to keep it in our mind as memory. Clear knowledge. We may have clear knowledge from beginning to end. What is the path? What is the map of the purification? Then from beginning to end, we try to develop this knowledge. According to knowledge, again and again we try to reflect on this knowledge. And also then, if we have this knowledge, we try to protect our speech. We try to protect our behavior. We use our words very carefully. We use our postures, behaviors very carefully. We don't give any chance to another person who can criticize us. On the other, especially here, there are three disciplines in Buddhism. First thing is the discipline of speech and behavior, and second one is the tranquility or concentration, and third one is wisdom. Virtue, concentration or tranquility, and wisdom. One day a god came to visit Buddha and he asked Buddha, "Reverend Sir, there are many problems in the human world and the heaven. What is the way that you explain to overcome this problem?" One day a god asked Buddha. Then Buddha says, "I would like to explain your path to get rid of suffering, get rid of problems, troubles in the heaven and the human world." What is the thing? The first thing is you have to put discipline in your speech and behavior. And with that good behavior, you concentrate your mind. You concentrate on your mind in a particular wholesome thoughts. For example, developing mindfulness, developing loving kindness, practicing breathing meditation. Again and again, when we practice our mind, we can keep our mind particular thought for a long time, like a very pleasant, very quiet water. Then water is very clear and calm. We can see inside the water. We can see the bottom of the water when water is very clear and calm and quiet. our mind is like that. When our mind is very pure and calm and quiet, then we can see the world reality. We can see the impermanence according to our knowledge. Before understanding of impermanence, we should clean up our mind from negative thoughts. We have to reflect on our mind again and again, practicing some sort of medical technique. In our day-to-day life, we can practice it. Not only sit in meditation, but when you drive, when you work, when you walk, if you have attention, if you have awareness, when you have practice mindfulness, you can practice this meditation every posture, every behavior. You have only seen that mindfulness. That is why we have explained mindfulness as the best friend. If you lost your mindfulness, it means you lost your best friend. Your mind is your best friend is the mind. Mind becomes a best friend if mind has the mindfulness. If you lost your mindfulness from your mind, it means you lost your best friend from your life. That is why you don't forget your best friend who gives you the real happiness. For that, especially, we have to read and listening to again and again the great discourse of fourfold mindfulness. I will give you a handout about the mindfulness. That is very important. Then you read again and again that note. And also on the other hand, there is a very special discourse that Metta Sutta, Karaniya Metta Sutta. There are some qualities that we have to practice at the very beginning when you are going to practice this mindfulness. First of all, we have to develop some human values. Without ordinary human values, we can't reach the higher qualities. For example, we should be honest. One of them is the honesty, and also skillfulness, proficiency, loving kindness. Those are the qualities that you have to practice in your life before you are going to practice mindfulness. If you are delayed to get the result of the mindfulness, it means you have not practiced the primary qualities which says in Metta Sutta. Therefore, there are many things we have to listen again and again, not only listening, but we have to keep it in our memory, and also we try to get through it in our life. If you have any questions?
Only question is, can I do this?
Yeah. Actually, all of we have the enough courage. When we are born in the world, we have brought this energy to complete, develop this knowledge. That is why we are here. You know, there were some persons in the Buddha's period who were at the age of 80 who ordained. There were some persons who were at the age of 120 who became the order of monkhood and they attained enlightenment. At the age of 120. Because some persons were born in the world to practice this knowledge as their wishes. I think you also like that. That is why you are here. If you have a chance to listen to this message, it means you have enough courage and fortunate to practice this knowledge. Then, before become the old age and weaknesses, try to get the result of your life.
practicing this knowledge. If we can practice this knowledge, it is a good blessing for our children. It is the best blessing for our parents. It is the best blessing for our teachers. It is the very valuable thing. If we use some valuable things, we are not the valuable persons. If we have good knowledge and if we have practiced this knowledge in our life, then we have given the very valuable price of our material things that we use. Although we use a valuable vehicle or something, we are not valuable persons. We are less valuable than our materials. If we practice this message, we are the most valuable persons in the world. Then this handout I have explained you. The first thing is the first part of the understanding of karmic law, and also understanding of impermanence, ceasing, arising and ceasing. Every moment our experience arises and ceases at the moment. And if a person can understand, if a person has this understanding, that person is ready to practice another steps too. Automatically he is reaching to another step. He changes his thoughts, he changes his speech in the correct way, and he corrects his action, his livelihood, and his mindfulness and concentration, and also effort. Those are the steps that we have to practice in our day-to-day life. We should understand these steps are not away from our life. These steps related to our day-to-day life. We try to get through in our life practicing this knowledge, these steps in our day-to-day life. Our whole activities, not only you are in the classroom, but from you get up early morning and you go to bed, in your all activities in your day-to-day life, we can apply these steps in our life if we have mindfulness and this understanding. If we have this understanding, always we try to get the result. We are very hurried to see the results. Then we develop these qualities again and again. We like to get the result quickly. We want the result very soon. Then we try to practice meditation, mindfulness, concentration, all things we practice in our day-to-day life, seeing the result. Because the main thing is the practicing of these qualities is the visible result. Results are immediate. That is why we have some sort of happiness when we are going on this path. Not only hereafter, not only next birth. Yeah, we have confidence only in at the very beginning. We should have some sort of confidence about the Buddha, his message, his noble disciples. But when we practice these steps, we can see the results in our own life. Then further, we should not have the confidence. For example, if you didn't go to the LA, if you ask the person how you go to LA, you may get a map. Then with the map, when you go on the way, your confidence gradually, you have the confidence. Then when you reach to LA, you should not have more confidence. Now your experience is there. You know all things, you can see all things there. You may not have more confidence because of your experience. this message is like that. First we should have some sort of confidence about Buddha's enlightenment. Not only Buddha's physical body. We may have the confidence of Buddha's enlightenment that he understood, he realized, he discovered this reality. And also his message is true. And his noble disciples have enlightened. This confidence we may have at the very beginning. But when we practice this way, we can get the result in our own life. Okay, now I think it is enough. We talked 1 hour and 30 minutes. Okay, Mr. Eric, thank you for your comment. Mr. Rohana, Ms. Palm, Monica. I appreciate all of you. Because of you, I could improve my knowledge too. That is why I always appreciate you, and I show my gratitude to you. And if you can get some knowledge, you could get some knowledge through my speech. I am so happy. And if you have questions, you can ask anytime. Sometimes I am sorry because I want to go to the end of some topic. That is why I sometimes discourage you, but always I encourage you to ask any question that you have. Then if you suggest, if you propose something to change our teaching way, you can propose, you can say something, then we can change something. Okay, thank you so much. Now let's transfer these merits to our beloved relatives too. All of you gathered here very faithfully to the temple, and first of all you observe 5 precepts, and you meditated for a few minutes. After that you listening to the Buddha's message very faithfully. Doing all of these activities, you accumulated a lot of meritorious deeds. As the power of these merits, our departed relatives also may receive these merits, and may they gain good lives, and may they attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's we transfer all these merits to our departed beloved relatives too. Idamme ñātīnam hotu sukhitā hontu. Idamme ñātīnam hotu sukhitā hontu. Idamme ñātīnam hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Let's transfer these all merits to divine persons too, deities and guardian deities and angels too. May they receive these merits, and may they keep their eye on you too. May they protect you. With that intention, let's transfer these merits to guardian deities and angels too. Ettavatāca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodanto sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavatāca amhehi sambhatang punya sabbe deva anumodanto sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavatāca amhehi sambhatang punya sabbe deva anumodanto sabba sampatti siddhya. Okay, thank you for your coming. I wish you all the best. May the Triple Gem bless you. Okay, thank you.